Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is Dan Pantser here. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you watching these videos. This video I'm going to blab my mouth off about crafting, and this is probably going to be a little bit lengthy, but I want to just cover my thoughts that come to my head. I mean, I've made some mental notes, and I think for the most part I might be able to talk a little bit better unorganized, if that makes sense. So I'm going to kind of try to cover the newbie's guide toward, if you've already crafted and so on and so on. Just kind of all the thoughts and things that I've learned about crafting and see how many things I can conjure up. It's actually been a long time since I've crafted to level because I've had all of my crafting levels maxed for a long time. But there are some good tricks. There are some good ways to level to be cheaper. There's some better guides on the internet, or at least one that last time I watched it, which has been a year, 2 years ago, one of the videos that I like, and I'll show you that to you. It goes over a lot of the things that I learned during my crafting when I was leveling. Okay, so I guess first let's talk about the reasons of why to craft. All right, so I'm on a beginner, one of my alternate accounts, and I failed to go to the crafting stations before I started the video, but no worries. Let's just go here and we'll walk to some crafting station. So there's a couple of reasons to craft. One is to get gear. It's not always the best way to get your gear is to craft. It's not always the cheapest. Matter of fact, a lot of times it's probably not the cheapest. You have to craft if you want to get ascended gear for the most part. Excuse me. There are other ways to get ascended gear. Now, ascended gear, if you're on the newer side of this, ascended gear is the top stat gear of the game, and you can get it through drops, but it's fairly rare unless you play a lot of certain levels and areas. But otherwise, you have to craft it. You can't buy it off the trading post. So, all right. So let's talk about the different professions. A couple things on that. So there are, I forget, 8 professions, I believe, and you have to go to a crafting station to craft and to use them. And I happen to be in Lion's Arch right here. Let me just show you what the screen looks like on a starter's account, and then I'm going to switch to my main account. Okay, so let's say you want to be an armor smith. So you go up to it, you got to talk to the person, you got to click on the person somewhere, there he is, and you say, please teach me to be an armor smith. You are now an armor smith. Take your materials, yada yada yada, and start crafting. And you can go through those questions and ask so on and so on. But you go over here to the station, and now you see I have recipes, whereas just a few seconds ago I didn't have anything here. So let's just do a couple of price comparisons. Now don't just go crazy in here. Oh, I can craft, and just go hog wild and start crafting stuff. You don't want to do that. You'll want to have a goal for crafting. Your ultimate goal is to craft it to the max level so that you can craft anything that you want. Um, so let me also say that crafting may not interest you or may even serve a purpose until you play for a while. I didn't start crafting until I was probably 2 years into playing it. There are times when you want to refine something. For example, take your bronze, turn it into a bronze nugget. But that's not the here. This is what I wanted. You take, a couple of smaller items and you make it one bigger item. One of the main things that you'll want to do, always pay attention to the pricing of stuff and how many you craft. Don't just say, oh, look, I can craft 77. Boom, let me craft 77. No, you don't want to do that. You want to have a purpose. So if you don't have a purpose right now, you're probably not ready to craft. If you do have a purpose and you want to start leveling your crafting, let's switch back over to my desktop and let's go to a page. I want to pull up crafting from the Mega Guild, he happy. I didn't put a good search term in there. That should turn it up. So this video right here, crafting from 400 to 500 for cheapos. This covers a lot of good stuff. So it's fairly cheap to craft up to 400. And we want to open up a new tab, and most people will tell you to follow crafts. I think it's gw2crafts.net. Yeah. And this is fine to follow this site for the most part. Do not do 400 to 500 without watching this video and thinking about how you can save money, because if you look at what it says it costs 76 gold to go from 400 to 400 to 500, which actually to me at this point is not a whole lot. But I remember when I was crafting, it was breaking my bank. Oh, if you don't care about money, go for it. Go ahead and spin your gold. Well, actually that's not very much at all, 28 gold. Okay, well, it seemed like I remember that being 100, 200 gold. Leatherworking, let's see how much it says it is, 74. So take your pick. If you just want to do something easy and get it done, feel free to follow this. Otherwise, before you go from 400 to 500, watch this other video, and I'm going to try to remember a couple of things as we go along here. That's probably in that video. So you don't want to do a normal guy because it just takes forever. It's a little cheaper, but it's not worth it. A normal guy for cooking, honestly, I don't know what these hearts mean. All hearts. Maybe that's if you have all hearts and you can get stuff from the vendor. Maybe that's what that means actually. So as you can see, 2 gold, almost 3 gold to get to 400, I think. So if you scroll down, yeah, to get to 400, that's hardly anything. But cooking is the cheapest. Huntsman, let's see how much Huntsman is. 34. Yeah, cooking is cheaper. Let's do the fast guide. Cooking all hearts, and it's a gold more. It's worth the weight in gold to save your time, and just do the fast guide. Don't do the normal guide. That's my recommendation. All right, so let's go back to here. Okay. Here's another reason to craft. Okay, let's say you wanted these 8. This might not be the best example because these are cheaper. These aren't worth anything on a trading post. So here's an example. Here's what you want to do no matter what you're doing. If you're crafting, buying something, not trading something, you always compare prices to what the trading post has and what from crafting it to the trading post. When you're making something or when you're trying to make an investment. All right, so it takes 10 bronze ingots. Let's say we want to craft that. Look how much a bronze ingot is. If we bought 10 of those, we're looking at 23 silver and 70 copper. Instead of crafting it, just buy the thing because it's dirt cheap on the trading post. So always check your prices, okay? Not everything's that drastic, but then here's another thing you want to do. Drill down and look how much it is. So it takes 10 bronze ingots, so you need 100 copper. 10 times 10, right? 100. So it would cost you a gold 6 just for the copper to craft 10 bronze ingots. A lump of 10, it takes 10, I guess, and that's dirt cheap. So always check your prices. This is a perfect example of a drastic difference. So don't just go crafting for no apparent reason. You'll end up losing. You'll end up losing a lot of money. Okay, a good question is, which crafting should I choose? Well, this is a couple very important points. Ultimately, it can matter depending on your profession, or your armor, rather. Your armor and then profession, I guess. It's probably kind of, I don't remember everything to be able to tell you. Look at that. To be able to tell you which ones that you should pick on the recommendation of, well, I'm going to be a revenant and I want to use this and this weapon. Well, there's probably a best profession to choose for that. Do your own research on that probably, but as long as you do this, so you can only have 2 professions per character, and then you have to pay money to switch professions. My recommendation is don't pay money to change professions. Pick a person, maybe do some research to what that person is going to have and use, and pick the best profession based on its weapons and armor set, and just leave it on there, never change it, level it up one time. So many people will level up a character or level up something, crafting on a character, and then want to free up a character slot and delete that character, and then they're like, oh crap, now I gotta level. Don't do that. Don't be that person. Just make sure you keep that character forever and keep those 2 professions on it. So since there's 8 professions, you're obviously going to have 4 characters to max out all 8 professions. So let's say I chose to be an armor smith and a weaponsmith on this person. Oh, where's the NPC? There he is.
You are a welcome guest.
Okay, so now, and it even shows on the character select screen. So if we go, so it shows me right there. I'm a weaponsmith and an armor smith, and that one's a chef and an armor smith. This is just one of my farming accounts. So that's what not to do. See, armor smith and armor smith, don't double up like that. So you'll need your 4 characters to max out all 8 professions, and then I would say at the end of that, just buy more character slots and always keep those 4 characters, because if you're going to play for a while, or you'll end up messing yourself over. Okay, so now I have 2 professions on that character, and let's go to another profession, and it'll say, please pay this amount of money to change over. I thought I was going to do that until I got the profession maxed out, and then it wanted a ton of money to switch over. So that is not reasonable. Don't ever do that. If you switch over while you're at the beginning stages of cooking, or beginning of stages, see it cost, remember cooking, where does it say?
To ripen into evil.
Okay, there we go. Deactivate when there's a fee in here somewhere. Well, maybe did they take the fee out? Maybe it's because I haven't leveled up any of it. But as you level up, it gets expensive to change professions. But yes, you can change professions, but I do not recommend it at all. Keep it straight, keep it straightforward, and you'll always know where to go to craft whatever you want. That's important. So you can purchase additional crafting license, and if you look at my gem store, my what to buy on the gem store video, I put this in the semi-high recommendations, I think. So if you buy 2 of these, that's 1,600 gems. That will make it so that you only have to have 2 characters to max out all professions. Since each one's gonna have 4, you just need 2 characters. So that's real good to have, and that's what I have. Okay, oops. Let me go to my main account and keep yabbing my mouth. I do have a favorite place for crafting. And it's my favorite place because I'll show you. So if you notice, I have crafting spread out just a little bit, but I know that this one has 4, that's my main, and this one's my other main. And the others I've messed up and done some crafting and then realized that I was messing up. That one's a chef because it's my farming character. Another reason to craft is you can level. You can level pretty easily, pretty cheaply. The idea behind the black lion chest farm, the black lion chest key farm, is you spend a couple gold to get up to level 10 at any rate, but you can farm. I mean, you can level with crafting. If you're a level 70 character and you want to go to level 80, I don't think it's probably a good idea to to craft to get 10 levels at that higher level. This mainly works better on the lower levels, I think. I've never tried it because I've never needed to. So let's go into him because he has 100% map completion, and I know that he'll have what I need. So on the map, down here, and I'm gonna have to remember since I've been using the Royal Terrence pass or the other passes for so long. But if you don't have those passes, there they are. The best place I think are over here, because look, there's all your crafting stations. They're way closer than Lion's Arch and closer to each other, and they're pretty close to that waypoint. And you have your bank and your trading post right down here. So in my opinion, this is the best place to craft. And there's not a lot of people unless you like the chatter of other places. Wait a minute, there it is, trading post. And okay, so next thing. All right, so this, I know this one has leatherworking. So let's look at, so I have, like I said, I have them all maxed. So let's look at some of the advantages of that. So let's say you create a new character and you want to get them a 20 slot bag. All right, so these are 10 gold, just because I know you buy those from the leather vendor right here. Superior rune of holding, where you at? Right there. So 10 gold. So this is when you do your math, right? So 10 gold. This was probably not the good one to pick. Let's pick this one actually. 18 slot leather pack, because those are, let me take that back. Let's do, okay, let's just pick that. I was looking for the mithril box, but it's on a different profession. So let's just go back to here. I'm afraid it's going to be more expensive to craft it because these are high. So let's see, let's just see. So that's 10 gold, and we need 10 of those. Let's see how much 10 of those are. 8 gold, so it'll be 18 gold, 51 silver to craft that. Now if we look at the trading post, 20 slot hardened leather pack. So it's actually more to craft. Now it's almost, if not always, cheaper to go into here and do your refining. So let's do the math there. It takes 10 of those, and it takes 3, so it takes 30 of these to do it. So let's see how much 30 is. So 8 gold, 74.20 compared to, so it's that much cheaper. What's that, like 75 silver or something cheaper to go in here and do your own refining. So this is a scenario where you would not want to craft the hardened leather pack. Those are not the ones to get anyway. The invisible packs are kind of expensive too because they have leather in them. The a real common one used to be the this one. It used to be around 2 gold, but leather's up. So that's a scenario of, okay, nope, don't want to craft that. But all my ascendant stuff I've crafted, and to learn recipes, you can buy recipes off of the trading post for certain things. Well, let me back up a step. So you have to have a recipe to craft something if it's not in this list. You do have a lot of things in this list if you even if you haven't bought the recipe or got the recipe from somewhere. Or you can do a discovery. So if there's something that you haven't made yet, but you can make it into discovery, then you can add it to your recipe list. Or if you look on the trading post, there's a bunch of recipes on here. Crafting material recipes. So sometimes you might need something, and this will tell you if you own it or not, or have it. So this right here tells you that you can make this one as an armor smith. You have to be level 400. You can make it as a leather worker or a tailor. Let's say that you needed that, for example. Oh, I could just make it. That's not a good example. But like sinister gear is a good one that you might craft. It all depends. It just depends on what you want to do and what you need to make or want to make. And like I say, you don't have to craft. And you could spend 2 or 3 years not ever craft or not ever craft any period. There will be a time probably when you need to do something, and then you just have your friends. You send the materials to your friends, and they'll craft it for you or something. There's certain items like Maudry. Let me see. I went through and I made Maudry. So if you want to make that, for example, that requires a lot of crafting. It's an ascended item, and that's the only way to get that is to craft it. If you want some cool back piece, like I forget what it's called. So kind of doesn't matter. I'm just trying to show it examples. There it is. So if you want these tipper spinal blades, you have to craft that. Actually, I take you forge that. Take that back. Let's look. So remember, another tip that you probably already know. Actually, let me go back in the game, do a wiki, and temp. Let's hover over that so we get the spelling right. Where you go? Wiki tempered. I mean, I know how to spell that, but I'm just giving you some things here, so it takes you right to it. And yeah, you get those from the Mystic Forge. It's been a while since I made those. And so that's another tip. Make sure you remember the wiki. There are certain things, like if you have a lower class person and you want them to get a backpack, you can make them one through this backpack. So let's see what my leather can make with a backpack. Elegant worker's backpack. So that's a level. Well, can't tell. So this one is a lower level. There, require level 1, require level 15. So this is way you can get backpacks for your lower characters, and you can only craft that. And it's kind of difficult to get backpacks. What's this? Tailor. And Tailor, they all have different stuff. So I have a craftsman bag. Gossamer bag. That's what I was wanting to try to show you earlier. This makes sense to craft last time I looked. So this is 10 gold. Well, let's first see how much it is on the trading post. You can put in an order. That's what I would do. So let's go by the order price. 10.55.44. And so that's 10. Let's see how much 10 of those are. Let's do order prices because that's the way I would do it. So that's right away it's about 40 silver cheaper to craft it. Now if we do it this way, if we refine it, we need 80 of these. And I got my mind messed up. So we need, not 80. We need 10 of those. We need 20. No wonder, I don't know why I said 80. So that's 1180 compared to 10 of those. So you save 60 copper. It's not a lot, but you just want to have that habit of always checking your prices, find what's cheapest. So if you want to max out your bags, just kind of look and see what's cheapest. Probably, it's either that one. I think that's the cheapest 10 slot bag. I mean 20 slot bag that there is. And we can look. We can go to inventory bags and go to here. Go to size 20. Sort by price. Yeah, 12.16. Always put in the order unless you just know. As long as you know you're going to waste money and lose money. See, that's 2 gold or a gold and a half, whatever it is, difference between either putting in an order or crafting it versus buying it outright. So recap: cheapest by about 40 copper, Sometimes it's greater variance than that. Is crafting it. Next cheapest, put in an order and lose a gold and a half, whatever. Buy it outright. And certain things you just have to get and do with discovery. I think the bags were like that. Let's do a wiki on the bag. Wiki craftsman bag. Let's do it exactly like that, I guess. So if we look at the craftsman's bag, I may have should have put 20. Okay, there it goes. So if we look, we have, okay, yeah, I should have put 20. But this is a good page anyway. This shows you what profession you have to be and what level. So to do the big bags, obviously you have to be 400. Okay, so on to the next thing. What's the cheapest way to craft from 400 to 500? Well, one way is to start crafting the things that I craft for my dailies. The ascended items. If you look at my video on the crafting the daily ascended items, that'll help you out there. But if we look at Deldrimore Steel Ingot, that I'm not sure if I have the spelling right. But if we look at what level that takes, so you can do stuff like refine your gold, refine your mats, and I can't just blob them off. Let's look. Refine your orichalcum. Refine that, and you can refine leathers, and you have to refine a lot. But at that point, maybe you have a lot in your inventory that you've collected. If you've sold it all at this point, then either buy some, refine it, keep it, make something with it, or whatever. If you don't have any mats to refine, then you can't use it, I guess. Let's look and see if that come up. Okay, so it's required rating of 450. So crafting these will help you get from 450 to 475, I think. But once you get 450, start crafting these. This will get you a bunch of experience, and plus you can sell them and make gold. And lots of professions can craft them. So that's one reason, or one way. Another way is do a lot of dungeons, buy the equipment, buy the armor from the dungeons. In that mega guide, I think he goes over what exact ones are best to buy, and then you salvage them with your Black Lion salvage kit, and you get the inscriptions. So that'll save you a couple gold each, or a gold and a half, whichever ones you get and how much they are. So that's one way to get the inscriptions for pretty cheap. What I did a lot of, and I think it was armor with the strength runes. Oops, forgot the G. And let's do armor and level 80. Something. What was it? I gotta remember my. Let's see. You will have to. Okay, it must have been weapons. See, it's been probably 2 years since I did any of this, but I bought. Isn't okay. Bear with my brain farts here. Yeah, those have gone down in price. So, and it may not even be a viable way now, but I was buying armor with expensive runes on it. I was salvaging them with the Black Lion salvage kit, and I was getting I was getting the rune that sold for a little bit more than what I paid for the item was for. And then hopefully I got the inscription, and then I got some globs and dark matter, if you know what that is or would ever use it. So let's armor runes level 8. Oh, I think it's 60. for a major. Although, let's do exotic. That'll do it. So the most expensive rune is antitoxin rune. Wow, stuff isn't that expensive. Used to be like 8 gold for a rune of strength, I think, or a scholar. Where's the scholar at? There it is. Man, these things are dropping in price. So you would buy armor with antitoxin. Let's see, antitoxin. Maybe they don't have any. The rune of the pack. So let's take this one for example. Rune of the pack. That's a gold 34. Let's see what rune of the pack goes for. There, 145. So if you bought a bunch of those, now I don't know what I can't remember what you get from salvaging those. Somebody else can help chime in if you want, but you may not even get the inscriptions. I think it's anything that is non-craftable you will get the inscriptions from. But there's a good scenario. If you got the inscriptions from that, boom. You know, a lot of people look like they like to buy that rune and just list it for a gold 45 or gold 44 something, and then go back to the armor. Look, see how that is. So you could, matter of fact, I'm gonna put an order in for some of those, salvage them and sell the rune. That's another way to make money. Did I do the 120s? No, I didn't do the 120s, did I? Let's do some of those. Let's do 10. And let's go to... So, people that are playing the game, they don't know what they're doing necessarily, and they just sell it. Oh yeah, I got me a little bit of gold, but I can salvage that, and then I can sell the runes for more than what I pay for that. At any rate, so that's one way to get some inscriptions. That's because that's the majority of your prize. And let's go home. Inscription. Well, you get the point, hopefully. I wanted to try to just go along with my thoughts and try to see what I can remember and conjure up, because there's a lot of stuff that you'll learn about crafting, and then you'd be like, oh crap, I should have done it like that instead of like this. So I try to cover a few of those things, and eventually you'll, especially if you want to get into more serious content like the fractals, you don't have to have Ascended for raiding, but most people want it. So if you start getting into fractals or raiding, you'll start crafting your Ascended items, and and you'll cross that bridge when you get to it. I actually have an Ascended item craft, a couple videos about crafting Ascended items. So that's just a little bit on crafting, how the interface works. And matter of fact, the interface used to be a lot worse. This little lookup button didn't used to be there. So then you had to find out, okay, intricate, then you had to scroll through this and find out what it was. A pain. So as soon as they added this drill down box, oh, it was so much better. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And as far as, I hope I covered most of your questions. Not everything is in concrete. It's kind of an art with trying to find the best and cheap, not the best, but necessarily, but the cheapest way to craft and to get the stuff that you want. And to understand that if you don't craft, then you're not, well, I would say you're not missing out on it. But when I started crafting, it started to be real fun. Actually, quite a bit of fun. And then if you want to make money, it's pretty easy to make money crafting. There's all kinds of videos out there on YouTube on how to make money by crafting items. In particular, you could craft a bunch of those bags. You have to find the right bag, the inventory bag. Make sure you do the math. Always, always, always do the math. If there's anything I guess you might get out of this video, do the math. Always, always do the math. And you'll profit. Or you'll stay less broke anyway.
Here we are.
I don't always have a ton of gold, but I always have over 1,000 gold, and I'll spend it, and I'll go through and I'll craft a bunch of stuff and earn it back, and it's and before I know it, I have more gold, and I'm like, whoa, without even thinking about it. And part of it is from crafting. A lot of it is from crafting. Alright guys, well that's it. I hope I didn't ramble too much, but I wanted to ramble some so that we can cover a lot of areas because it's a big topic. Check out that video, use the wiki, do your research, do your math. Outside of that, we'll see you at the next video. Give a like, give a thumbs up, give a thumbs down if you want. Subscribe, ask a question. I am always happy to talk in game. There's my contact, nuno.9735. And feel free to contact me anytime, send me a mail, whatever. See you guys around.